It's a great Saturday morning out here at McGrath State Beach. Welcome to our program. We're here just at the edge of Ventura, Oxnard on the Santa Clara River, and one of the most important park units we have in our state, one that's been closed for a long time because of rising water. We now have a huge effort to restore this park, and we're beginning to make this park persist for decades to come. McGrath State Beach is at a real interesting place, both ecologically, geologically, and politically. It's really at the edge of many different things. It's at the edge of political jurisdictions, it's the edge of the land and the sea. It's also at the edge of rising seas and a lot of the current challenges that many of our regions of our state are going to be facing as we go on into the future. What's been going on here, the historic mouth of the Santa Clara River estuary, closes and is always closed at certain times of the year. A sandbar goes over the front. That leads to a more enclosed area, a more lagoonal, a raised water situation. Historically, that's been okay, and then once the water gets to a certain level, that berm breaches, the water goes down. That's a natural part of the system. One of the challenges that's happened in the recent several years has been a changed water pattern. That has partly to do with what we've been doing. It also has to do with our lower rainfall and the drought situation that we're facing right now. What it's meant in summary has been a stronger berm, less water in the lagoon there to break through this berm, and it's meant higher water levels for a much longer time. As far as people using this facility, it's meant that you can't even get in here because where I'm standing, I'd be about waist deep in water. So in addition to all the ecological impacts of that changed system, it's also meant that people can't recreate here. So we're beginning to try to solve that problem. Steps were first taken in 2011, been getting stronger and stronger ever since. Now we've finally been able to lower the water here. We've finally, for the first time in almost 3 years, are going to be able to have hopefully summer camping here and summer recreational use. And that's also the first step towards restoring this entire system. So as we talk to different folks today, we're going to hear about some of the efforts that people have put into, first and foremost, preventing this unit from closing. Secondly, how we're building more community effort and interest around this park. Thirdly, what are we going to do to try to go forward with this? Both forward as a recreational place for the local folks, also how we can possibly use this park, this place, this location as a model for other coastal systems where people are struggling with sea level rise and other challenges. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to what we're talking about today. Hold on. We're going to be right back with a bunch of awesome interviews from a bunch of fantastic folks here at McGrath State Beach. Right here, you can see one of the many examples of the inundation we've had. So if we look at the soil is basically a marsh plain, a coastal wetland plain. There's no, we just have driven a tractor through it, so we have some treads that just tore up this area, but otherwise, there's no plants growing here. Right? This should be a vegetated area, but it was subtidal, so we've lost this area to have a nice covered grassy zone. What that means is if we don't do something, this is going to become dirt, it's going to become weeds and thistles, and it's going to be hard for folks to recreate here. So this is a great example of some of the recreational opportunities we've lost because this place has been underwater. Not just as it's underwater, but it's also impacted a lot of the future potential of the site. We need a lot of repair in this unit. This really shows how much this site wants to be a wetland. We potentially could have a lot of wonderful plants and animals going through here that are wetland estuarine critters. The superintendent was just telling us how much they're trying to push us into this restoration zone, how much we're trying to get this place where I'm standing restored a healthy salt marsh so that our camping can be moved to another place, get both these elements living together in harmony. We're very fortunate to be joined by Superintendent Butzke, who's in charge of all of these units here of the state park in our region. Superintendent, could you give us a quick overview of the resources that we have here to start with? Sure. Here at McGrath?
Love to. Currently here at McGrath, we're in the early planning stages of relocating a good 2/3, if not the entire park. We're doing conceptual drawings and initial permitting. to facilitate us moving 2 sections of the park all the way down coast to higher ground. When the park floods, where we are standing, when it normally floods is under about 3 feet of water. As we proceed down coast, the floodwaters lessen because you're at higher elevations. The far section, the section we have open, only about 20% of that floods. So part of the plan is to move it further past the existing first section of campground, and basically flip-flop sections 2 and 3 over and past section 1 and create almost a mirror image of the campground, at least the general layout, into an area which will remain dry. The areas here that are typically flooded, we're going to remove all the infrastructure and let it return to a natural wetland. So that way future campers at McGrath will get the best of all worlds. You'll get the coastal recreation experience, able to go out to the beach and enjoy the camping, and come see a coastal wetland with all of the migratory birds and all of the wildlife that goes with that. So it would be the best of all worlds.
So we always have the issue of money and how much money does it cost, but assuming we were to have funds, what is the initial, I know we're still planning, but what's the initial thought of the planning window? 5 years, 10 years?
Well, we anticipate a project like this for permitting through to construction to opening to run anywhere from $20 to $25 million, which will take some time to raise that kind of money with the state government. We'll be looking for outside sources, various city entities to probably help out like they've done before. Parks will foot the majority of the bill since it's our park, and we're looking in a window, probably conservatively 5 years if we're able to get the ball rolling with money right now. It takes about a 5-year process to get coastal development permits, any of the other necessary CEQA permits, and then actually to do the construction up to the standards that we're looking for.
How would you compare the energy now around McGrath and getting it back and running, restoring it, all that, to some of our other park units?
People just embrace park events and want to be able to help out their parks. So it's not just a one-time thing here, but the folks here are particularly passionate. We have an online support group, the McGrath Army, that helped raise the funds to do our sewer project 2 years ago, which kept this park off the closure list. As you saw today, we've had over 100 volunteers out here just to come out and help us clean the park up. So we're really fortunate and blessed to have such a devoted, passionate group of constituents that want to come and help support and save our parks.
Awesome. Superintendent Tyson Butzke, thanks for all the great work already done, doing now, and that we're going to do in the future.
Thank you, and I appreciate it, and please come visit any and all, especially this one, your state parks.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We've had a fantastic day here at McGrath State Beach. Watched a lot of folks do some fantastic restoration. Heard from a lot of the key players here that are making this park a more vibrant, essential part of our local community for the years going forward. Stay in touch. Stay in touch with the Park Service, stay in touch with our friends groups, with all of our community that are involved here. There's ample opportunities for you guys to get involved. You can also go check out our website at California State University Channel Islands. You can search ESRM, Environmental Science and Resource Management Program. We have all kinds of projects going on here as well to try to help support state parks, support our local resource managers, and give them the information that they need. For anybody interested in this type of stuff, anybody interested in restoring systems, anybody interested in figuring out how we go forward collectively, constructively with problems, come check out our website at California State University Channel Islands. In particular, check out our Environmental Science and Resource Management program. We train students to solve these problems. My students are now rangers. My students are now part of the organizing groups that bring these folks together. It's a wonderful opportunity. Come to CSUCI. Come check us out. We have an awesome program. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.